Your water utility is legally required to tell you, every year, exactly what their testing found in your tap water. Most people never read the report. So here's how to read it in 5 minutes. 4 numbers. That's it. And the newest report just landed. As always, no brands, no sponsors, nothing to sell you. Just a public document and how to read it. We'll use New York City's brand new report as our worked example. And here's the twist. One of these 4 numbers isn't about your city at all. It's about your building. First, find the document. It's called a Consumer Confidence Report, or just your water quality report. Every community water system in America, the kind that serves homes, has to publish one by July 1st, covering last year's testing. Search your city's name plus water quality report, or check your water bill. And if you rent and never saw a mailer, the PDF is still public. New York City's runs 20 pages. Behind those pages, nearly 1,000 sampling stations on street corners across the city, and more than 330,000 lab analyses last year. A water report is the summary of an enormous, legally required testing operation. One thing before the 4 numbers, because the first time you open one of these, 100 rows stare back at you. Relax, most of them are plain chemistry. Calcium, chloride, the minerals that make water taste like water. You're scanning for a short list. Lead, the chlorine byproducts. Nitrate, if you live in farm country. Arsenic, if your water comes from the ground. Bacteria. And the newer one, PFAS. Hold that list. Now, the 4 numbers. Number 1. The violations line. Before any chemistry, your report has to tell you whether the system broke a legal limit last year. It's a column, usually labeled violation, and you simply scan it. Some context for our example. New York serves 8.8 million people about 1 billion gallons a day from protected mountain reservoirs. Water so clean, it's one of only 5 big American cities that doesn't filter its surface supply. And on the 2025 report, that violations column says, number on every row. If you only check one thing in your report, check this line. But no violations is the start of the story. Not the end. Number 2. The level versus the limit. Every substance the tests picked up gets a row. How much was found? Next to the legal maximum, the MCL. Read them as a pair. And 2 quick decoders. Micrograms per liter just means parts per billion. And ND means not detected. Too little for the test to even find. Now take the chlorination byproducts called trihalomethanes. New York's highest yearly average. Across every site they track, 52 parts per billion. The legal limit? 80. That's a comfortable margin. And there's a detail hiding in that same row. Individual samples ranged as high as 81, over the limit, yet it's not a violation, because compliance is judged on a running yearly average, not one hot sample. That's not a loophole, that's how the rule is written, and now you can read it. Number 3. The health goal. Beside the legal limit, reports print a second, stricter number, the MCLG, the level at which nothing bad is expected, even over a lifetime of drinking. If you saw our first video, you know why those are 2 different numbers, on purpose. Here's New York's sharpest example. The Forever Chemical PFOA health goal. 0. Detected once in 1 street sample out of 5, at 2.7 parts per trillion. Legal, and well below the state's limit of 10. Its cousin PFOS, not detected at all. The gap between legal and 0 is where your personal judgment lives. Number 4. The one that isn't about your city at all. Find the lead table, and a strange phrase, 90th percentile. No city can test every home, so it samples taps in buildings most likely to have lead plumbing. New York's 90th percentile. 10 parts per billion, under the federal action level of 15. But the range is the real story. 9 in 10 sampled homes, under 10. 1 home, 155. Why the spread? New York's mains and tunnels contain no lead at all. The water even carries a food-grade phosphate that coats old pipes from the inside. Lead enters in the last 100 feet, service lines and fixtures, in New York, especially buildings from before 1961. So this number describes buildings like yours, not your building. In New York, the city will mail you a free test kit. One call to 311. Check if your city does the same. And note one date. November 2027. The action level tightens from 15 to 10. New York's number is sitting exactly on that future line. Now, the scale that makes this work anywhere. Your report will not look like New York's. Every utility designs its own. Denver's reads like a magazine, but find the data pages, and there are the same columns. Denver doesn't even say violation. Its column says, standard met. San Francisco packs a year of testing into one dense table. Same columns. The town of Stonewall, Mississippi. 3 plain pages. Same columns. Lead, 3. Action level, 15. And Philadelphia's report is a website, the best in the country by our ranking. Different formats, different names, the same 4 numbers, every time. One more thing your report might show, a violation. Denver's latest discloses 2 missed monitoring tests. No health risk, explained in plain language. What happened, what it meant, what they fixed. That's the honest version. But if a notice ever says, boil your water, that one is immediate. It means an acute problem, like bacteria. Boil it, and check your utility's updates the same day. They're required to tell you within 24 hours. So anywhere in America, violations. Level versus limit. The health goal. Your lead 90th. Or take the shortcut. Type your zip into TapWaterData.com. And tell me your city in the comments. The next walkthroughs come from that list. So, is your water safe to drink? Here's the honest checklist. Your violations column says number. Your lead 90th sits under the action level. And your home is newer than the mid-80s lead-free line. Check all 3. You're almost certainly in good shape. Drink the tap. Older building? Test your own tap before you decide. Some cities, like New York, will mail you a free kit. On a private well, there is no report. You're the water company now. Test yearly. Our first video shows where to start. And whatever your report says, every next step, filters, certifications, city guides, is waiting at TapWaterData.com. Start with the data, then act on what it says.